Wait for the technology to get caught up here so I can monitor the chat and all that. So it's still got about a minute to go before the live starts. So we will certainly give it every opportunity here to catch up. Welcome on a Saturday afternoon. Let's see if the text chat is working. Outstanding. So today we're going to do some coin collecting. I was able to get a box of nickels unopened from the bank. Refinance. See if I can click through that. There we go. That's probably pretty weird. Anyway, welcome to the live event here as we get ready to go through some nickels. We've got coin rollers, got our pen, our working areas, and a large beverage as well. So we're ready to go. Let's see if we can type in here, good morning. All right, that should be in the chat. So today's goal is to get through a bunch of these rolls. This is a brand new box that I just got from the bank down the street. And I opened it to make sure that it was a mix of nickels. There's some newer coins in here, but there's also some older coins in here. So we're gonna be lucky. So there's just by looking at the design, that's probably a 1980s right there, nickel on the top. I haven't put my glasses on, haven't started looking yet, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. We'll pull out 5 rolls to start. 3, 4, and 5. And I'll give you some techniques that I use to get into the rolls, save the rolls so you can re-roll your coins and return it back to the bank when you're done. We have the coins over here to put them back into the bank. I'm going to get the glasses on. So I have a jeweler's loop here. It's a 16 times lens. And that way if we find some really cool coins, I can take the lens and take a look at it, see if there's any up close markings or anything that we want to take a look at. Like here's a 2021 quarter with the Denver mint mark. And when I put the lens on it, I can see that there's no other mint mark underneath the Denver mint mark, which is right there. Sometimes they have the D over D, D over S, D over P, that kind of stuff. And so it's always good to have it. Some of these older nickels will have that opportunity to find something, but we're gonna start. So here's a roll. Immediately I see a 2021 on that side and the reverse is something on this side. And this has a little piece of the roll sticking out there. So sometimes I'll be able to grab it. Sometimes I won't. I'll take the end of my jeweler's loop and pop it up. And this way, I'm able to open the roll. Oh, I tore that one. Oh, so much for that idea. Most of the times you can get it. And the idea is I want to preserve this roll, the wrapper, so I can put the coins back in and take it back to the bank, a certain number of them. So for the most part, we got it. I'm going to take my Sharpie, I push the nickels out. And it is a good mix of different dates and mints here. So this is fantastic. Move some of this stuff out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and spread them out a bit. Right away, 1940. So this is a 1940 nickel. And I'll try to get up close to the screen here so you can see it. Trying to make sure it's in the camera shot here. I'll move it around a little bit like they do. But it's a 1940 nickel. It's well worn. It's been cleaned or some sort of chemical or something on it. But anyway, it's a 1940 nickel. So someone can do the math. That's a really old one. So we're going to put it right over there as part of what we find here. And that popped right out just because of the way it looked. Here's a 2004 Denver. This is the keel boat design on the back from the Lewis and Clark commemorative series in 04 and 05. Doesn't really have much value in that condition. 98. Here's a 1988 Denver and a 1988 Philadelphia nickel next to each other. The Philadelphia is a little bit better to collect, but this one has some green corrosion on the back, some oxidization. There is copper and nickel in this coin, and when it starts like that, it's going to destroy it over time. There's no sense collecting that one. This one's got a crack. Does it look like a crack on the back? No, I rubbed it off. It was just some dirt, but not in very good condition, so we're not going to keep that one. 1972, for some of you, 1972 would be an old date. 1972 goes way back. I started collecting coins from 1959 and before when it came to nickels. And I've never really changed other than adding some of the more modern coins to that collection. And so that's kind of what I'll be looking for, but we'll talk through it as we go. Here's the new nickel design right here from 2006 versus the old nickel design. which was from 1938 up until 2004 for the obverse, 2003 for the reverse. But the reverse on this is the same, and that's by legislation through the federal government. So the mint has to have some sort of representation of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his home on the back there. So 1981, not really scarce. Dig through some of these here. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat as best I can. I've got the computer over here so I can monitor it if you have any questions, specific dates or anything. 2019. What we're looking for, like here's a 2010 Denver nickel. So 2009 are very scarce. 2010 Denver is a pretty scarce coin too. Not super scarce, you're not going to get rich off of it for a number of years, but I put them off to the side and hold on to them. Another 88, 96s and 14s. More with corrosion. A lot of these coins, they'll sit in sock drawers or drums, or sometimes people empty out a water bottle and put coins in it. That's how they can get some of the moisture on it that starts to destroy it. Here's the Sea to Shining Sea back, fumbling in here. The 2005 obverse design. It was a one-year design of that type of Jefferson nickel. And there's 2 coins from that year, but this is the from the Ocean View coin when you get to California. 1990, 1985, 64, 19. We're looking for 2009. It's a great year to collect coins. And 96. So out of all that, we kept 2 of them. And our go back to the bank pile gets put over there. Welcome everybody. Hello and a good day to you. Number 70. Welcome. We're doing some coin collecting today. It's a Saturday afternoon and it's time to collect coins. So trying to open up this one using the edge of my jeweler's loop to pop up the paper. These are tightly wrapped by Loomis. So they get all the coins probably from Coinstar. They buy them from the government in bulk, dump them into a big hopper, and then they roll them and send them out to the banks, which is partly the reason why they claim that there's a coin shortage. My local branch here of my favorite bank was nice enough to give me a box. And I promised them I would bring them back what I don't want. So that's one way to work with your local bank. If you have trouble getting coins, just let them know you're doing it for coin collecting or whatever it might be, and that you will return the coins when you're done. And sometimes that'll make them a little more excited to work with you. 1978 Denver. It's a better coin to put aside. This one's got a big gouge right here on, let me pull this out. So right on the top of the building is a gouge. It's got gunk all over it. Not very collectible in that condition. It's a better date to keep, but I'm going to throw it off to the side there in the returns. I'm going to flip through these coins here. 1920s. Oh boy, here we go. Winner, 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 winner. Oh, sort of a winner. 1939. Okay, let me see if I can get it real close to the screen here. Look at the condition of this. 1939. Well, 1939 is not a super scarce coin. They made a lot of them. It's the second year of this design. The 39 Philadelphia gets often mistaken for 1959. If it was a 1939 Denver, it would have a mint mark right here at the back side of the building, and certainly that's one of the 2 key coins in the series. But this is a nice extra fine condition coin, except for the damage on the rim here. So this has got stuck into a machine or something along the way, and when I take a look at it, it's not from the mint, so this is damaged under the coin. So this is probably why it's in circulation, because it has really no collector value other than putting a placeholder in your collection book. There is a variety of this coin that has the letters and the word Monticello double imaged, called a double die. This one is not that. I just took a look at it under the jeweler's loop. I'm going to put it over here anyway. We're going to put it in our keeper pile because it's an older coin. It's certainly not one that we're going to be able to sell or do anything with, but if we're putting a set together, we need to have that date. So pretty cool to find in 1939. Especially if it had a mint mark. 39S, oh here we go, here's another 2010 P. So P is Philadelphia, D is Denver, W is the West Point Mint, and S is San Francisco. Many coins before 1980 didn't have a mint mark on them, and they were from Philadelphia. And hopefully we'll find a war nickel here with the big mint mark on the back to indicate that it has silver in it. So I'm going to wipe the crud off of Jefferson's nose. He must have had a cold there. But 2010 Philadelphia is a better coin. We're going to just set that aside. Anything after of 09 and 10, I just put aside because during that time when the economy was in such bad shape, they made very few of the coins. Here's 1970, and I have to use my jeweler's loop, and it's a San Francisco mint mark. So from 1968 and forward, the mint mark was on the front next to the date. So this is the last San Francisco nickel ever issued for circulation, was 1970. And this is not in too bad a condition. It's well circulated. It's got a few problems to it, but we're gonna set it aside in our keeper pile because it doesn't hurt. If we decide later on we don't want any of these, we just put them right back in the bank. 1978, here's the cousin to the other one. This is a better date too. 78 was during the Carter administration. The economy really sucked. And so again, fewer coins were made. So we're gonna hold on to that. If you go back through time and look at when the economy of the United States was in bad shape, those are usually the best coins to collect. Because as it slows down and there's less demand for coins, they make fewer of them. And certainly that then creates scarcity later on in their existence. 1989 Philadelphia. This is a coin notoriously for a weak strike, so there's not a whole lot of definition in his hair. That might be a scratch on it. Nope, there's just some more dirt. No, it is scratch. You can see where this must have been the end of the roll, and so the actual mechanics of the roller unit has scratched the front of the coin. That's too bad, because that's not too bad of a condition for 1989 Philadelphia. P mint mark down there. We're going to toss that because there's no sense keeping it, but it has no value such as that. Other coins here in 2017s, 2011s, 2003. So out of this, we've gone through 2 rolls. There's 40 coins in a roll. And we've come up with 6 coins that we're going to collect. So out of the 80 coins that we've gone through, there's only 6 that we're going to keep so far. One of which is majorly damaged. The others that are, sounds like I got some coming in. Wait a second here. Oh, hi. Next up, we'll do our 3rd roll here. This is another roll, 40 coins per roll. And again, we're searching for the war nickels from 1942 through 1945. We're looking for 1971 Philadelphia is another good year. 1982 and 1983 coins because they didn't make collector sets that year. Appreciate y'all being here. It's Saturday afternoon coin collecting, live from Las Vegas. This is from a Las Vegas bank. And one thing that makes Las Vegas special is that as people run into hard times, whether it be through gambling or, oh, I'm gonna stop right there. Here we go, war nickel. This is a silver nickel. This, you put 40 of these in a roll and you get 2 ounces of silver. So this is a 1943 Philadelphia, which is even more exciting. It's a very common coin. However, there is a variety where they struck the 43 over 42. And those have a real good value. So that's why I've got the jeweler's loop, and I'm gonna take a quick peek at it. Usually it's not that, and this one is not, possibly not that. Although I do see some interesting stuff on this. Could be crud, or it could be something else. But anyway, so we have our first silver nickel, and I'll try to get it up close. You can see the P mint mark up here on the top. I'll try to get up close to the screen thing here for you. Move it around, but you can see the P, the large P up there. Those are from 1942 through 1945 to signal that they've taken the copper and nickel out for the war effort, and they put silver and manganese into these nickels. So very excited. One thing that they do though is they laminate, they do peel back because of the nickel composition, but as a collector's coin, 43P is not very scarce other than it's silver. And so we have 1/40th of 2 ounces or 1/20th of an ounce or 5% of an ounce of silver, just like that. So much easier than finding Bitcoin. Just for reference. All right, we keep looking here. This is exciting. All right, I'm glad I got, oops, sorry about that. Glad I got this box. 1961, Denver, mint mark on the back, decent shape. We'll keep that one. 1990s, 2020s, 21. Those all go back to the bank. Here's 89. Here's one that's been damaged severely. It's either been run over by a railroad on a railroad, put into a machine. You can see how it's shaved off. It's gotten stuck in something like a coin hopper of some sort, and just wear on it. And so it's really smooth on the back. So that's absolutely no value. And sometimes those won't even go into vending machines anymore. So 2006 Philadelphia, 2006, the first year of this design. You need to have that to complete a set of them. It's actually quite challenging to put together the set of the new nickel design from 06 to current date 2021. There are some challenging dates there. They don't have a super high value other than the 09s and some of the 10s. but challenge yourself to make it happen. Tony checking in, how you doing? Oh, totally into coins. So far we found a 1939, 1940, 1943 silver nickel, and some other stuff that I've set aside because I think it's pretty cool. And I have to look back and forth on the chat, so I'll do that. Here's 91 in pretty good shape. Some of the 1990s stuff has some good value. I went through some up and down economy then. Early 90s stuff is good. Here's a 1993 P. I save every one of those along with the 1992 P. So 92 and 93 P are just general, save every one, and eventually I'll take a look at them and see if they have any value. I got bags full of 1982 and 1983 nickels for that same reason. Just because there's some varieties and they're scarcer. Even though they made so many of the 1982 and 83 coins, because they didn't make collector sets, and it was a time, another economical issue time, that the ones that are not circulated have super high values. And specifically the quarters in 1982 and 1983 with the explosion of quarter video games, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff, Defender. All the quarters from those years went into those coin machines with the video games and were destroyed. So high condition ones from back then are worth a fortune. All right, another roll here. As we keep going along here, 20, 1920, 1913. 12s and 13s are worth putting aside, especially if you have to put a set together. Again, they're no super value now. Here's 1976, bicentennial year. From the Denver Mint. Now 1976, not super scarce, and it's a recent issue, unless of course you realize you're actually in 2021. So our country's bicentennial, 200-year anniversary, is 1976. Our 250th anniversary is in 4 years. Or three years and a quarter. It's amazing. 1986, good coin to put away. Coming out of some economic times. Again, there's a 2010 D, but this one must have been the end of the roll because it's got the scrape on it, so I'm not going to keep that one. Thumbing through. It used to be really easy because when you would see this design, you just pass by, you wouldn't keep any of them. Then they had to go and make the 2009s collectible. I got lucky. I was in Vegas in 2010. They didn't actually release the 2009s in 2009. They started coming out in 2010, and I went to a Circle K that had 2009 nickels in them. I hadn't ever seen one. So I asked them if they had any more, and I bought everything that they would sell me out of that Circle K, and that's how I got my first stash of 2009 nickels. Appreciate you all being here. This is a just nice, relaxing Saturday afternoon. So we've gone through 4 of our first 5 rolls. And again, we'll count it up here. We have 5, we have 10, 11, 12, and 13 coins that we're keeping. One of which is silver. Very excited about that. We're here for the long haul this afternoon, so pop in, pop out, check out your other favorite YouTube channels. Check out number 70, check out Kino Joe, it's JBTV. So many great channels out there. I know it's JBTV does different things, I do different things, and we try to keep you entertained as well as this is stuff I'd be doing anyway, so what the heck. All right, I don't see any silver at first glance here, which is, you can see the difference in color. It usually pops right out at you. Go through looking for dates. And some of these are really corroded, so it must have come from somebody's bucket at home. They finally dumped them into a Coinstar or something. When the economy goes bad, there's a lot of that happening, and it's a great time to collect coins. It's a bad time for the people that have to do it, but it's a chance to rescue some of those collectible coins out of circulation. And where there's this quote unquote coin shortage right now, finding coins is difficult. I just found 2 really cool ones. First one is 1982 Philadelphia. So it's got the P mint mark. It's a little tiny mint mark there. And it's in pretty good shape. There's no damage to it that I can really see. Let me get my glass out, just make sure around the edge there. There's a small little nick, but not too bad. And in 1982, they were making so many of these that they actually had to recut the dies. And so there's a couple different varieties of the actual date. So the digits on the date, there's one that's a little more blocked than the other one. If you asked me to tell you which one that was, I couldn't tell you right now, so I just keep it. And eventually one of these days, I'll go through and take a look at them. If they're in real good shape, I'll put them in a special holder and try to sell them, make some money on them, like I will do with the silver one there. 92, but not the Philadelphia. 13p, 11, 19. When you would see a 9 up until 2 years ago, you just put it aside because it was a 2009 with that design, but now with the 19, it's the same 9 that they used to cut the 09, so it's very similar in look. So now we're up to 14 coins. We only found 1 in that roll. We'll pull 3 more out real quick. Let's make it 5 more. We'll do 5 and 5 in this video. If you have any questions on specific coins or dates, put it in the chat. Would be happy to discuss it, talk to you about it, share tips. I'm going to show you how I wrap these up at the end here so you can get them back in the bank. I went out and I had to buy these, so I'm going to try to not use them if I can to put my coins back into the bank. And as I said, I promised my teller that I would bring them back to them for the coin shortage so they could have them once I was done. 40 nickels fits nicely in my hand. Your hand is probably a different size, but I'm able to basically guess within a few coins when I grab a handful of them how much is 40, count them out, and then roll them real quick, and I'll show you that technique here. These are all 2020, 2021, 2018, 1972, Denver. Not too bad a shape. We'll put that aside just because of the age of it. 21, pretty good shape. 1964, cool. So why am I not excited? Well, 1964, this is a time when everyone is really collecting rolls of coins in the United States. A lot of coin collectors. 1950D was a real short mintage that has real good value, and people were hoarding coin rolls. So what the government did to fight that was in 1964, they continued to print or mint the 1964 nickels into 65, 6, and 7, along with making 65, 6, and 7 without any mint marks on purpose to stop coin collecting, which is an interesting thing for a government to do. But that's what they did, and so there's billions of these coins floating around. If you get them in really good condition, there's multiple varieties on the back because of the different years that they made them. But it's nothing that I'm going to be able to do in my lifetime to make any money on them. So I just kind of shy away from them, throw them off to the side. Here's another 1972. It's not in really good shape, so we'll pass on it. Ooh, fun, coming up here. Here's a 1973, Philadelphia. Here's a 1954, and that's pretty cool because there's a couple of options, a couple of varieties that we're going to look at here. Make sure the rest are there. Okay, 1954. It's another one that appears to have been cleaned or something. It's sat in some oil or who knows what. You can tell it's just discolored on the back there. It's kind of nasty. That's chemical composition of the nickel reacting with whatever's touched it. And so it's kind of got a rainbow. So I'm guessing it's oil or gasoline or some kind of a petroleum product that's touched this nickel. You also buy half dollars, quarters, dime rolls, and from the bank looking for the 90% silver coins. I certainly do when they have them. The half dollars, I love going through them. I love finding real coin half dollar machines. Quarters and dimes and all that, I'll go through them as they let me. But it's amazing. It's the most guarded thing in America right now is coin rolls. I don't know why. So this is a 1954 Denver, it appears. I'm going to go ahead and put the loop on it. Yes, it's a Denver. So there's a 1954 San Francisco issue, and it's got the S mint mark over a D mint mark. And they did that because they were in a hurry to make them, and they sometimes messed up like that or did it on purpose, and it gets out into the coin collecting community. So the S over D is a great collectible coin. There's some D over Ds and some things like that from 1954. So this one being cleaned, it's not going to have a super huge value, but we need it for making our set, so we'll put it off there. I love going through rolls of half dollars. That's my favorite. They're so hard to find anymore. Vegas is one of the few places where they're not that hard to find. When we get the casino or the hotel open here, I'll be able to put in large coin orders, and part of what we'll do here throughout the next several months and years, whatever it might be, is we'll have like a weekend coin session, and I'll be sure to use the power of the business to make sure we have coins available. I can buy them from the front desk and we'll go through the coins. Then I can always return them. Saturday afternoon coin collecting right here in Las Vegas. I've done this in every city I've lived in. I had a lot of fun doing it in Salt Lake City for whatever reason. They had some great coins up there. Lots in Texas, Alaska, where I started back in the 70s. I started pulling coins out, anything 1964 and older, and then of course the nickels way back. So here's a dirty looking coin, 1964. Just toss it. Well, not in the trash, you know. 11, 11, 14, that was a 74, I'm sorry, not 14. Just nothing collectible here yet. Flipping through them. You don't have to take a lot of time with some of these because it's just obvious they're not collectible. Sometimes the more dirty, the dirtier they are, the better, because you know it's older. Sometimes it's newer stuff. Here's a 1995 Philadelphia. The mid-1990s with the Philadelphia mint mark, set them aside just because. Some of the Denver ones are worth some money too in uncirculated condition. If you find a nice roll that's not been circulated, 97 again. Here's a 1974, but you can see the green corrosion on the back. So it's been dinged somewhere, so the copper got exposed, and so the green oxidization. That's why your Statue of Liberty is green, because of the air and the water hitting the copper on it. 1991, here's an example of why the Philadelphia coins from the 90s have value. It's just a very weak struck and well circulated nickel. It's, you know, barely recognizable. And so for every one of these that's been destroyed, a nice one has more value. 21s, 20s, 21s, 15, 18. Nothing super exciting there. 2000, the year of Y2K, they made so many coins going up to 2000 and into 2000, anticipating the end of the world and that all machinery is going to shut down and that the Terminator was going to take over and all those things. So they don't really have much value unless you're in really good shape. What is the rarest coin I've ever found in a roll? That's a great question. I have found every nickel minted from 1938 on in a roll at some point or in a slot machine. So the 39D and the 50D, those are pretty rare. Valuable wise, lots of silver, and I'm trying to think, my most prized would be pennies. I found a 1914 Denver, and I don't know that it's actually authentic. I've never had it authenticated. But that's a very scarce penny. I got one of those out of a roll. It was at a collection of old wheat pennies that got turned into a bank. And then, you know, nickels, dimes, yeah, not a whole lot. Some buffalo nickels that have the dates worn off, and then you can tell it's a 1913 because there's a raised mound variety versus a flat mound. It was only a one-year issue. And you find the 1913S, even without the date, has a collector value. Lots of silver. Here's 1941, popped right out. Look at that. 1941 Denver. Again, it must have, this box, a lot of times the coins are connected somehow. They came out of the same coin star or something. But this one you can tell was also from probably that same collection, a collector's book or rolls that got wet or something. Still not too bad. 1941 Denver. So we're starting to put a little collection together. Here's another one, 1940. 1940 Denver. Wow. Yeah, some collection or something got dumped into a coin star and we're benefiting from it right now. 1979 Philadelphia, 96. Here's 1970 Denver. Unfortunately, it's got a spotch. I don't know if that's a word right over the date, so no value there. Digging through them, 13, another 64. So far we've had how many 1964s and how many 2009s? We've had 0 2009s. Here's 1958 Denver. It's not that scarce, but it's old. And going through, here's 68, okay, cool. So 1968 is the first year they brought mint marks back after the 65, 6, and 7 attempt to stop coin collecting. The 1968 Denver nickel is a sleeper coin, and in coin collecting what that means is it's going to have value in the future when people realize how scarce it is. Let us market you. How you doing? Thank you for checking in. Just doing some Jefferson nickel collecting on a Saturday afternoon here in Las Vegas. But any 1968 Denver or San Francisco, they did not do Philadelphia coins that year. If you find them, I put those aside, the 69s I put aside, and most of the 70s, depending on the condition. 70 was the last year of the S Mint release for circulation, so if you find them, they're cool. 1997D in good shape. 2011, here we go. Not bad at all. That's a great condition. It's 10 years old now, so to find them still with that mint luster on them, I'll go ahead and put that aside. Another 19. Junky ones, sitting in somebody's spilled soda in their change dish in their car. 88 again. 88's not too scarce. 88 Philadelphia is a better coin to collect. 94s, 19, 2010 D. We're keeping all those just because. And the rest of this is modern stuff. We'll do a couple more, then I'll show you my rolling technique. Coinstar is a rip-off, 11.9% fee. Unfortunately, most banks won't accept coins unless you roll them. Absolutely true. As the United States continues to get lazy in everything that we do, and we remove the human element in everything that we do, and we go to machines in everything that we do, someone will be looking at this video in 20 years from now, or 40 years from now, or 50 years from now going, what are coins? This is cool, what are coins? Oh, look at the guy with the antique stuff. And then, oh, you mean you actually have people working in stuff? Wow, what's going on in this country? You know, whatever that might be 24 years from now, that's gonna be a lot different than it is now. But you know, why would you pay 11 or 12% of your money to a machine to take your coins from you? It's money, it's face value. So what I like to do, specifically because it really irritates the people behind me, is when I go to a grocery store that has a self-checkout, I will do my self-checkout and then I will fill it with coins. One, to get coins back in circulation, my nickels or my dimes or whatever, and I'm not gonna give them that percentage. I mean, if you're desperate and you really don't have time to roll it and you don't want to roll it, 1985 there, that's a nice coin, then maybe go ahead and do that. There's another 64. But I can't imagine just giving away that kind of a percentage. If that's the case, bring me your coins. I will take 6% of it. I'll cut your loss in half and I'll do the rolling. That's the service we're providing here on Cash or Crash Coin Rolling. 87. Okay, 1987 is an interesting year. Oops. 1987, they made $50, but only in a collector set. So there's quite a few uncirculated nickels and stuff that came out of those collector sets, because we'd buy the sets from the mint, cut the $50 out and use them as collector coins. The rest of it would go into change. But 87 is really actually a hard year to find a nice condition coin. This one's decent, but for our purposes here today, I'm not going to be holding on to it. 2020. 2020s everywhere. So remember, there's a coin shortage because of a pandemic. I should actually stack all the 2020s. We're gonna start doing that right now. We'll stack all the 2020s. Over 1.3 billion nickels were made during the pandemic when nobody was doing any transactions. 1.3 billion. And there's a coin shortage. I'm calling BS on it. It's because the banks won't let you take any damn coins out. Okay, enough politics, sorry about that. All right, here's a 2002 Philadelphia. So 2003 is the last year of this design. These were made in significant quantities. Nobody really saved them. This one's got crud all over it, so I'm not gonna save it. But I would recommend saving all the 2002 and 2003 nickels you can find as well, just because nobody saved them. After 9/11, everyone was focused on so much more stuff back then. Yeah, Coinstar, some of the casinos used to take the coins, but now you have to be a certain level for them to cash them in for you. I did take 45 golden dollar coins down to the D the other day and asked them if they would cash them in for me, and they were nice enough to do it because they certainly knew it was going directly into the Keno machine. All right, our 10th roll, and then we'll do a little bit different here. I'm just doing a quick search, don't see any silver. So we're 1 for 10 on the silver, which is actually a great percentage. 1 for the entire box is a great percentage. 2016, looks older, 1971. So this is the Denver Mint version. The not San Francisco, the Philadelphia Mint without the mint mark is highly collectible because most of them were damaged or destroyed. They were poorly struck. If you find a nice condition one, it has a real good value and it's hard to put a roll together. An uncirculated roll, an original roll from 1971 Denver would sell for about $8 or $9 probably, unless it's gone up recently. The Philadelphia one would sell for about $35 to $40 for that same roll, for about $1 a coin in uncirculated condition. 1969 S. I believe it's the S, using my magnifier, it certainly is. So 69, San Francisco, one of the 3 last San Francisco issues. I recommend holding on to them for a couple reasons. One, there's a 1969 double S penny, has a massive value, and you can just find one in your pocket change if you happen to be lucky. They're very scarce. They're probably out there everywhere because nobody collected them for the longest time. It's been maybe 15, 20 years that they've been authenticated. But so that if there's an S double mint mark penny, why couldn't there be a nickel? So I just set it aside, and someday when I have time, I'll do some research on it. If I run out of time or whatever, I'll just put it back in the bank, or I'll go buy some snacks down at the grocery store and tie up the self-checkout lane. Do you collect Susan B. Anthony's or Sacagaweas? Not many in circulation except in vending machines. Great question. 1979 Philadelphia Susan B. Anthony's. There's two varieties, one with a thin rim and one with a thick rim. One is worth significantly more than the other. The 1981s were only released in mint sets from the US Mint. I've made a bunch of money over the years buying the sets, cutting the dollars out, selling them individually on eBay to dollar collectors. And then Sacagawea, after 2002, I believe it is, they quit putting them in circulation for the most part. Like with the presidential coin series, the first years those came out, they made just billions of them. Nobody wants them, so they just kind of sit in vaults. The gold coins are oxidizing, they're turning brown. So if you get a nice, bright, shiny, gold-looking dollar coin, it'll have a premium over the brown-looking ones. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna stack our coins up. This is what we've collected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like Vegas, stacking chips. There's 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're at half a roll so far. 25 and 30 and 1. So 31 coins out of 400 is what we've set aside. People don't want to use the dollar coins unless dollar bills are discontinued. That is correct. That's what Canada did with their loonies and their toonies. And they forced people to use the coin dollars. All right, so we're going to set our stuff aside. Again, the silver nickel from 1943 is the best of what we found. It's all sitting over there. So now what do? This is the debris. This is the leftovers. This is the chum. This is the stuff that, you know, when you do the trimmings of the steak, this is what goes into the sausages. So now we need to put together 40 coins in a roll. And I'm just going to throw them in here and show you my measuring technique because I was born with a perfect setup here to roll roughly 40 nickels based upon how it feels in my hand. I'm going to say that's too many. I'm going to pull those out right there. So this is going to be within 3 or 4 of 40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. So there's a roll. And I don't want to use the ones I had to pay for. So I'm going to take my roll, put it back into my coin roller here. Like that. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Someone might have called me, so that's what happened. Buffering. So if someone calls me while I'm doing a live like this, it will freeze it up. So sorry about that. Bend it over. Do one more to wrap it up here to make a roll. Then I'll open some more rolls here. Let's see what else we can find. When I was a kid, when I had kids, really young kids, I'd have a stack of nickels and I would have them help me roll them. And I realized they didn't like doing it. So then I got out some piggy banks and I said, you know, between rolling, you can throw some in your piggy bank. And they were able to take advantage of that and build up their college fund. It's 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 exact. I'm getting better as I go. On the first roll, 38, second roll, 39, the third roll, 40. A silver nickel is 5% of an ounce of silver. And so if someone can look up what silver is, last I saw it was like $25 an ounce. And so, is that 25, 250, like $1.25 each or something like that. So that's just running it through my head real quick. But if someone can look up what an actual ounce of silver runs right now and put it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. And then I'll tell you what it is. We take that number divided by 40, and that's what a silver nickel's worth. There's 1943 Denver is the scarcest date, followed by the 1944 San Francisco, if you find those. I'm to let us market you, going to add you to the mod squad. I appreciate you being here. Outstanding. It's a super responsibility, I'm sure you know. I believe you're a moderator on other channels as well, so but appreciate you being here. So $23.39. So we'll take our $23.39. $23.39. and we divide that by 40 coins, I'm sorry. And so you're looking at 10 is $4, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. This is not the way to do it. It's $2 equals $23. All right, someone get a calculator out and figure it out for us. It's 5% of that, so it'll be 50, be $1.15, $1.16 or 17 right now in actual silver melt value. There, I did it in my head. It's not bad for a nickel. If you have nickels in a jar, dump them out, go through them and tell me what you got. You never know what you're gonna have in there. Most of the times it's just this stuff you have to put back in the bank. You can get these wrappers. If you actually go to the bank and say, hey, can I get some coin wrappers? I want to bring you some coins. Nowadays, they're actually happy to give them to you because they need the coins. And you don't have to go buy the wrappers, but you can also get them at Walmart and different places. 85, some other coins here. These, since we don't have any collectors right there, I'm going to go and just flip through these real quick. It's another way I do it just so I can get through them. Oh, 1956. So this is a 1956 Denver. Beat up. It's like someone took a pickaxe to it or got caught in some sort of mechanism, so absolutely no value except for the nickel. 84s, some of those in better condition are worth holding on to. 20. We start rapid firing here because got a lot of rolls to get through, and certainly it's easy, like with dimes, nickel or dimes, quarters, and half dollars. You can actually just look at the edge of the coin and tell if it's silver or not. The nickels are a little bit harder because of some of the different color changes, different design changes. One time I was at a McDonald's in Fairbanks, Alaska, way back, had to be somewhere in the mid 80s. And when a coin till would open up and someone would pay with cash, I had really good eyesight back then. And then I knew what to ask for and change. And one time I saw they had a bunch of silver tills. So I a cheeseburger. I'm sure I wanted a different meal, but I wanted a small purchase, like 79 cents at the time. And I said, can I have my change in dimes, please? And they thought I was nuts, but I ended up getting all the silver dimes, quickly ran down to the coin shop, sold them, made a bunch of money on that, and then went back and got my meal that I actually wanted. 1960, we're gonna set that aside. That looks interesting to me. Not sure why, it's kind of different colored. Here's another 64. So again, tons of 64s, no 2009s yet. 64. Gives you an idea how scarce the 09s are versus 1964. Age, not necessarily the key contributing factor in value of coins. It's scarcity and condition. And then sometimes they have gum in them like that, or tar. That's kind of sticking together. That's nastiness. And make sure you wipe your hands down really good when you're done doing coins, because you don't want any of this stuff getting into your face, mouth. You think that other stuff is bad if you breathe it in. This is just nastiness. Years and years of circulating nastiness right here. All right, so I want to look at this coin. It's 1960. Has a real strong strike, almost like it came from a proof set and been circulating. But it's different. It has a very stressed die. There's lots of underlying lines to it. It looks like it's got a double image on it. Very interesting. So the base, Monticello, however you want to say it. I look at this one, looks different than this one. Real different. Like, very cool, like it's got a double die reverse. Could just be, sometimes when the die strikes, it just kind of moves a little bit. And sometimes it makes it looks like it has a double image. But this one just jumps out as being different. Same thing on the front. Around his nose and face, looks like there's some doubling on it, which doesn't make sense that both sides would be doubled. So I'm gonna have to do some research on 1960 Jefferson nickels with double images. Maybe it looks like it's got proof design. I mean, it's still shiny with original in there, but not. Could be worth $1 billion, could be worth 6 cents. Could be worth 4 cents if you put it in a Coinstar. Are we frozen again? No, we're still going. Good. Want to make sure. The casino crew in the house, how you guys doing? Have you broke 200 yet on the subscribers? We got to get number 70 up over 100 and you guys over 200. All right away, jumping out of the roll, 1959. So I can't find the 39 right away, but here's 1959. It looks a little different than 39 because of the 5 and the 3. It's got the Denver Mint mark on the back. It's a very common coin, but not too bad a shape, so we'll hold on to that one. Some different dates, just stuff, nothing exciting. Here's a 1977. They're very common, but that's in decent shape. Had a little crud on it, I'll wipe that off later. 18, 19, and 20s. Tons of 18, 19, and 20s. Stuff like that tells me they're probably in sock drawers, or someone had, you know, a little change cup and they finally just went and turned them into the bank. If you start getting older stuff, like sometimes all 1970s, I found a box of nickels where they're mostly all 1970s, which means somebody turned in a collection at one point when they realized they probably have to save them another 20 years before they could be worth any money. This one, the rim is a little thicker on this side. It's just a little misaligned die. On the back side, it doesn't have that, so it's not like it's an off-struck coin. It's just more of a, it actually takes value away for the most part, unless it's significant. Nothing, nothing, nothing. This roll, absolutely nothing. So there we go. So we got a whole roll there with nothing. Appreciate y'all being here. Does this have any value? When my brother passed away, he had one of these. He was a Bitcoin, one of the original Bitcoin miner guys. I don't know why he would have one of these. We have his computers, and I believe we just found his password key code, because we want to get in there and see how much Bitcoin he still has in his computers. We thought it was all lost, and then we came across a little flash drive that said passwords on it. So I'm hoping that there's, you know, 100 or 1,000 Bitcoin in there. People break open the proof sets and spend them. There's home invasion robberies and that kind of stuff, or if people get desperate, they'll do that. There's 1980, Denver, no real value as a collector coin yet. 95s. Been very few 90s showing up. 1968, another 68. We had the Denver earlier, and this is the San Francisco. So if we're putting a set together, we have two decent shaped 1968. So we got that one, we can check that off. Other dates, stuff, a lot of newer stuff here, damaged stuff. And cool. So back in April, maybe May, I don't remember what it was, I actually took nickels and I was spending them in Scottsdale on purpose. I did a coin drop. There's a video, a couple videos of it out there that I did where I went around spending old collector coins. And I did it to try to spur on coin collecting. And something's happened to my internet here. Let me get back on so I can go to the chat. I think the phone's fine. I'm using Siri, so we should still be broadcasting. It's just me following along in the chat right now. I apologize if I missed any. Try to get caught up. Oh, another 1940 popped out right there. 1940 Philadelphia Mint. Very, you know, hundreds of millions or whatever it is, almost $1 billion made, I think. Third year of the issue. Now there's a different. Let me hit a refresh here on the computer. I think we're back. Is that my hand? There we go. Okay. Technology. I'm actually using a setup here where I can't see the back of the phone, so if it goes out like that, I couldn't see it. What year is the Bitcoin? Is a question. It's a great question. You see where would I find the year on here? It says peer-to-peer, Bitcoin digital decentralized peer-to-peer, troy ounce 999 fine copper, MJB monetary metals. Sounds like it's just a thing. 2008, maybe? Oh no, that's upside down. AOOS approved. Oh, 2013, 2003, 2013. Looks like 2013 right there. Are they, oh wow, it is, yeah, 2013. I didn't know they had dates on them. Very cool. That'd be early on. This might be one of the original ones. I don't know what year they started. Cool. That's a great question. All right, we are back. Number 70's back. Let Us Market You is back. Casino Crew. Tony. Appreciate y'all being here. Be sure to subscribe to each other's channels and help each other out as we do our best. Did anyone see the 2009? I got so excited. Maybe that's why we got knocked off the air. Right here, 2009D. Number 70, not 17, just so you know, because I made that mistake for like 3 weeks. He finally was nice enough to correct me. But number 70, if you can drop your link or one of your videos into the chat here so people can check you out. Some great coverage of the Washington State Fair. Anyway, we found a 2009D. There's the D or the P. The P's, most of them ended up in Puerto Rico, I believe. There's a guy there that ended up with most all 2009 P nickels. He's been selling them for years since then. The D's started circulating in 2010, but we found one. So we have one silver and one of the 2009 D's. Keep going. Since we froze there, I missed the joy of finding that awesome coin. Big drink sip there on my Circle K beverage. It's fun to try to pay for stuff at convenience stores with coins right now. It's almost like they think that's what's carrying disease in their country right now. And of all the things that are exchanged on a daily basis in Vegas, this is probably the least deadly. All right, a couple more rolls here. We missed out on some excitement there. I gotta make sure we do it again. Can't hide the coin back in there and pretend like I found it again. That wouldn't be authentic or real. I don't think I could yell like that again anyway. So. What do we got here? 78D. We found one earlier that was beat up. This one's in nice shape. We're gonna collect that one. 1978 from Denver. Again, anytime there's a bad economy in the United States, that's a time to hold the coins. Has anyone noticed that we've only found one 1982 nickel, the entire broadcast? Only one 1982, only one 2009, and only one 1943 silver. So just in a general sampling of a box of nickels that just happen to be available today from a bank in Nevada, what can you surmise from that? That those are probably some scarcer dates. We still have not found a 1971 Philadelphia coin yet. Out of all these rolls that we've gone through, nothing yet from 1971 Philadelphia. Nothing 1975 or 1976 Philadelphia. Very few from the 70s. Very few from the 80s, not like it was before. I gotta believe there's people out there hoarding this design, just putting everyone like this away that you can find. If I was alive in the early 40s, I would have done that with all the Buffalo nickels, at least until I needed to eat, then I would have put them back in the bank. But it's a chance to take advantage of that. There's another 64, 90, 13, 21s, 05s, just common modern stuff that 30 years from now, someone's probably watching this video. Oh my gosh, you had 2020 nickels and you didn't save them? They're worth so much now. That's because I'm not saving them right now. If I would save them, then they wouldn't be worth anything. 2008, Denver, going into the economic shutdown. Things started to slow down. 2008s are also worth holding on to. I don't know if they'll have super value. Here's another 71 Denver. And it's kind of cruddy. I don't see any real corrosion on it, like oxidization that will hurt other coins, so I'll hold on to it just because of the age. 1921, 2000, more junk. We rapidly approach half the box. Try to keep an eye on the screen, make sure we don't lose signal again. It's afternoon in Las Vegas. It's a little warm out there still. It's not completely chilled off yet, but you can feel the chill in the morning, and at nighttime it cools down pretty good. Last night, however, we got corralled or bum rushed or whatever you want to call it, overwhelmed by all the people down on the strip. Down by the Bellagio for the fountain show, I've never seen that many people in my life in one area. 2010D, good shape. There's so many people in town. Ooh, my first 2001 from the Philadelphia Mint. All the rest have been Denver. I'm gonna keep that one. we're in the West Coast, so we get the Denver Mint coins. So for that to have gotten out here, someone must have either brought it with them in their pocket when they flew out here, or just generally made it through circulation. But I always keep the Philadelphia Mint stuff when I find it till I get an idea how rare, scarce. Did they quit making them? Did they make a lot of them? I don't know yet. Haven't done any research on it because I haven't found them. And very few Philadelphia Mint coins ever make it out this far. They have to be transported. So I would actually trade with people on eBay. I would buy their box of nickels and sell them my box of nickels back when shipping wasn't $1 billion. Now, if you go onto some of the websites like mccord.com or eBay, you pay very little for the coins and you pay 2 to 3 times for the shipping. It's not worth it. And the guy selling the coins doesn't want to sell it at a discount to make up for the shipping. The same way baseball cards got impossible to sell the 5,000 count boxes or the full cases because of the shipping costs. Okay, more coins. 1990, 21s. Fewer and fewer of the older designs showing up. So with that said, I'm going to keep that 1990. Eventually, I'll have wished I kept every one I went across here if I'm alive that long, because they're not going to be in circulation anymore, and we're all going to wish we had them. What is that one? I just flipped it. 73 Philadelphia. So pretty much anything from the 70s now. Looks like we should be putting them away based on this small sampling. 19s and 20s. Wouldn't it be cool if the first few rolls we got were the only good coins in the entire box? Sometimes that happens. One time I found a few Buffalo nickels in a roll early on in a search, and I figured that meant the entire box would be Buffalo nickels, and those are the only ones that I found. Welcome back. Hopefully we're back and everyone's here. In and out with the signal. We are in the lobby of the new hotel. We don't actually have the internet set up yet, so I'm using that same internet hotspot that I took into the Gold Coast the other night that didn't work. And then I also used my hotspot on my phone, but I burned through all those minutes, or data points and not minutes. Dating myself there, how old I am. 78 Denver, yeah, it's got a big scratch on it, not gonna keep it. Bunch of older stuff, newer stuff, no real value. Still looking for 2009, so we can get excited to find another one. 2000s, 21, junk stuff and junk. With pennies, you can flip them over real quick and see if they have the wheat reverse. But now you also want to collect some of the memorial stuff that was never collectible. And some of the stuff that was never collectible is the best stuff to collect now. And the modern pennies with, it's just a copper coating on a zinc planchet. So like this one, when I ding it like that, if I break the copper on it, now the zinc will start to dissipate or disappear. It'll oxidize, it'll become gas and go away, and it'll start turning colors and black and all that. And eventually this penny is going to disappear just out of, you know, the physics of nature. And so any collectible coin from 1983 on that's still that bright copper color and being preserved that way is going to have a premium value over all the other ones that are just falling apart and changing colors due to air and water and contact and so on. All right, so just all modern stuff. I'm glad we didn't get a box of all brand new coins, because that's cool if you're in the business of selling them, but for this purpose would have been a real sucky video. Oh look, 2021 again. Now when you do the joining another person's channel, just make sure you watch some content and you engage in it. Don't just do it to subscribe. That's actually frowned upon by YouTube, and they'll notice stuff like that. But take time, watch the videos, make comments, go back and forth, help each other out. Be genuinely interested in what they're doing, and that'll really help the channels. 1983 to Philadelphia. So we found a Philadelphia 82, and here's a Philadelphia 83. Same situation. Based on what I see on the way the date looks here, the Philadelphia 82 that we found is from the second half of the year, because this is definitely from the first half of 83. 83, they were making the dies and stuff. Second, you know, they had to redo them again midway through 83. It's more of a box thicker date than this one. So I've got a late 82 and an early 83 nickel based on my years and years of knowledge and my best guess right now, because I haven't had a chance to really compare it to make sure, but that's what I think I got, and I'm very excited about that. All right, a couple more. I'm right in the middle of the box. I haven't picked from this side or that side so much. If you're a coin collector, you collect what you like, collect the dates you like, collect your birth dates, collect your kids' birthdays, collect your friends' birthdays, collect your spouse's birthdays, collect your enemies' birthdays, whatever it is you want to do to make your collection fun. I used to collect the kids' birth dates for the longest time, and then when we needed money, we had a bunch, because all these rolls and rolls of coins from those years, many of which became very collectible. I won't tell you the years. 1958, ooh, bingo. Put that right there for a moment. Somebody open up another window and go to type in Jefferson nickel mintages and type in 1958 Philadelphia, or just 1958. Ooh, and a 1952. Okay, we're gonna have some fun here. If you see me putting some coins over there, just stuff that I want to keep that we've already talked about that just happens to be popping up again. 21s. This is exciting. Got two good coins here to look at. Now the 52, I didn't get a quick peek at the back side, but that's where the mint mark is. I'm hoping it's a San Francisco. It's probably a Philadelphia. Let's take a look here first. So 1952. And on the back, no mint mark. So it's not the scarcest of them, but it's a nice shape 1952. So we've got a pretty good variety of years and dates on there. So 1958, no mint mark. So Philadelphia Mint, it's like the last scarce nickel with, I'm gonna guess, I used to memorize all this stuff, like 17 million is all they made of these. So this is actually scarcer, maybe 28 million, scarcer than the 09 coins. The 09 coins have a much higher value than 1958 because so many people kept them. They kept these rolls. This is one of the reasons why they did the thing in 64, 5, 6, and 7, because so many people just were hoarding rolls back in the day. But to find a 1958, it's a semi-key date in the series. You have to have it to put a collection together, and they're hard to find. So very exciting. So we got a silver one, we got an 09, we got an 82 and 83 Philadelphia. It's almost like I set up this box for you. 58P, probably have only found a few of those in change. I've bought hundreds of them. I got boxes full of them, figuring that someday I'll be able to retire on my 1958 nickel purchase. I bought 10 rolls from a guy one time. He shipped it in a priority box without any wrappers on it. Got some deleted messages. Sorry if I missed something there. Appreciate y'all being here. It's coin collecting Saturday afternoon in Las Vegas. You know, I think we're gonna get through the whole box here. I was just gonna do a few because I didn't want to, you know, kill the day, but this is great. I'm having a good time. You're welcome to stick around all you want. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share button. This is too bad here. Here's a 1982. This is a Denver, and it is super corroded. It's got all kinds of the green from the copper corrosion on it. Absolutely no value and would destroy other coins it comes in contact with. 20s and 21s. There's no shortage of 20 or 21 Denver, other than the one that the media and everybody's making up for us. Billions of nickels made, and somehow there's a shortage. Billions. Did I start on that again? I apologize. It's cutting into my fun. I can't go collect coins because of the shortage. Oh good, a 69. Where those guys are. So this one, 69, it's in real good shape. It's the San Francisco Mint. And wow, it's a stressed die. It's got all kinds of die marks on it, but on the S itself, and I wish I could figure out how to hook this up. I don't think you guys can see through the thing there, the loop. Maybe not. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. You can see the S. Sometimes they put them in crooked, sometimes they double stamp. This one it's got a double image on the bottom part of the tail. So I'm going to draw it for you. So the S, kind of like this. That's what the S looks like on the nickel. and it's got a little extra piece right there on the end. So it could be just because they squeezed it too much and it puts the metal out underneath it, or it could be a double S image nickel. So we will put that aside. Something very cool. May have absolutely no value. Maybe the one coin that everyone's been looking for since 1969. I've got lots of coins like that. I'll give you an example of what I do. If I'm collecting like this, I'll put it in a wrapper like this. I'll write the date on it, flip it over, and then it goes into a Ziploc bag. And then as I have time, or in between jobs, or there's a pandemic, I have a chance to go through them and take a look at them again. Live from the lobby of the new hotel, going through a brand new box of old nickels. If that's an oxymoron, I guess it is. It's new to me, and I was lucky enough to get it through the local bank with a promise of returning these extras that I don't want to them so they don't run out of coins. Okay, here's a discolored one like we've been seeing from that group of coins. So there was some kind of set or a roll that got wet. It's a 1952, and it's got different, it looks very much like it was soaking in oil or something. I'm gonna keep it because it's a 1952, but it really has no value. It's 1976, but really cruddy, won't keep that one. '85's got some dings on it. I'll keep some of the 85s. Oh, there's 83, cool, Denver. Look at that here in a second. 15, another 83, 2 in a row, cool. It's kind of like when you're mining and you start hitting a vein or something. Sometimes you'll hit a vein. Ed's a 1952. I'm gonna save this coin for you. If we ever bump into you somewhere, I'm gonna give that to you. That's pretty cool. It's the birth year nickel. So that'll be the thing here on Cash or Crash. I don't know if anyone noticed the name addition at all. I've extended it a little bit to test market it. We were talking about that last night on the live. I think it's way too long, but going with the John Cougar Mellencamp method of the name changing. All right, here we go. 1983 Denver. Nicely struck coin, solid image. Hold on to that one. This one is the 1983 Denver also, but it's a much weaker strike. So this would be early in the year, that would be later in the year when they redid the dies in 1983. Ike 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Scottsdale. How you doing, sir? Good to have you here. I love buying rolls of coins in Scottsdale too. Some great banks there. Got some real cool stuff out of Scottsdale banks. Tempe banks. Morenci, Arizona. Went out there one time. I had a little coin shop in 1983 and 84 at Arizona State University while I was going to college. And that's how I made some money, was buying and selling gold and silver and stuff. I was one of those guys. And somebody told me there was a rumor that somebody cashed in their entire $50 collection at a bank in Morenci, Arizona. And so my brother and I jumped in the car, we drove all the way out there, bought every $50 we could from every bank along the way. And we did find a bunch of silver, but never the Lost Dutchman mine collection of all the Franklins and older silver ones. Got a bunch of the 40 percenters and some 1964s. It was definitely worth the trip, but not the endless riches we had hoped for. 82 with the thicker date. Let's see if I can show that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but I'll show it to you. 62 Denver, we'll hold on to that, no damage to it. 76 again. I'm actually finding that I'm collecting older coins just because of the date now through this video, because there are not that many of them. Here's the first P mint mark on the obverse of a Jefferson nickel, 1980. That's a really ugly coin, no value, but that was the first year they put the P mint mark on the coins. There was some uprising or political debate that Philadelphia wasn't getting their fair share by not having their own mint mark. 1954, and there's a mint mark, I think it's another Denver. Yep, has a different D. This one's really corroded and smushed, kind of almost like a blob on it. So it'd be a different D mint punch that they use, but it's another 1954. It's our second one. That's not too bad a shape. It's not great, but not too bad. All right, we're finding some stuff. I'm digging around different parts of the box here. Are pennies worth going through? Yes, definitely. There are several different things that you can find in your pocket right now. Any 2009 They had 4 different designs for Lincoln's 100th anniversary of the penny and 200th anniversary of his birth, and those are worth holding on to. There's some S mint mark coins from 1968 through 1974. Some of the better coins, 1995, there's a double obverse image, 66. 1972 double die. Here's a 76 nickel that would be collectible except for the big ding on it, got damaged somewhere along the way. 1983 and 1984 from Philadelphia Mint, you want to hold on to those. There's one, the 84 has a double ear on Lincoln, and the 83 has a double cents or 1 cent on the back. So that's how you identify them. It's very, each coin is unique and different, and it's, each year has a different variety. You have a collection of the silver nickels? Cool. Here's 1957 Denver. It's a common coin, but we hold on to it. 1970 S, I believe. Yep, because it's an S mint. People collect the S mints only. There's some S mint collectors. Anything with the wheat mint mark, or the wheat backs, hold on to those. Not mint mark. It's the design, the wheat back design, because those are from 58 and before. There's a 1958 double die that's been recently accepted as a legitimate variety that has super high value because there's very few available. 1969 S double die, hundreds of thousands of dollars for those. You can happen to find one. I used to go through tons of penny rolls because they're cheap and easy. And it's actually to pull out the copper coins from 1982 and before. With copper at $3 a pound, it takes about 150 pennies to make a pound of copper. And so you can double your money. They're worth 2 cents a piece in melt value if anyone would buy it from you for that reason. Not yet. Another 82, put it over there. I think I threw the other one back into the pile. It's not worth going in just for one coin. If I throw some extras in, then maybe I'll go back through this whole box. Rapid fire, looky, nothing. Ooh. 97 Philadelphia in real good shape. It's a tougher one to find in good condition. 98s are almost impossible to find with the Philadelphia Mint in good condition. If you find those, set those aside. I remember my fingers getting that stuff on them from the old days of all coin slot machines. Even when they installed the bill readers, my wife kept on getting rolls. Exactly. And that's, I got some crud on here. I've actually got some wipes and stuff handy for cleaning up when I'm done here. But when we had the Clarion, we actually had the real coin machines, and I would sit there and play the real coin machines because it was a contract casino. I could do that. And I would actually do that just to go through the nickels that would be brought in. They'd buy bags of nickels to fill up all the machines, and sometimes to make sure that they would actually get new nickels for me to search, I would clean out the nickel machines. I'd put a $20 bill in and cash it out or whatever it was, and then I would take those coins and put them in the bank, so they had to go out and get new bags of nickels for the casino. I never told them that, and I'm sure Rick, if you're watching, you're probably understanding now why I always had to have a hand pay or a refill, but certainly that was done on purpose. We also had the actual dollar slot machines, Wheel of Fortune, and that was so cool. They'd bring in bags of Eisenhower dollars that were sitting in safes and banks all over the country because they had to find them. We had to pay $1.35 per coin to get them, premium, but they would ship them to us. But in those bags, we'd find Morgan dollars and the Peace dollars mixed in, 1 or 2 at a time, sometimes 5 or 6 in a bag of 1,000 coins. And so first they were just dumping the bags into the dollar machines, and I'd have to play the machine to get them out. And then I reminded them that as the general manager of the property, if I could have that first crack at it, I'd really appreciate it. And they complied, which was really cool. So I'd actually buy the bag of dollars from the cage, go to my office, go through them, put them in the dollar racks, and return them back to the cage. Or sometimes I'd stop at the Wheel of Fortune machine on the way and help out. Wheel of Fortune is a progressive, is actually run by not the actual casinos, but by the, I think it's IGT. What is going on here? It's like a shotgun blast, some sort of chemical imbalance. Just a nasty looking coin. It's rough. I'm not going to keep it. Really weird. Sometimes when they're weird like that, I'll put them aside, but not today. The quarter machines that they have downtown. I'm gonna go down there and have some fun with that, but those coins are all beat up pretty bad. El Cortez has them, and there's somewhere other place where I saw them the other day too. Another one of the downtown ones. Oh, is it the Main Street Station? I missed the sound too, the ting, 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 ting. And they try to make that fake sound in some of the modern machines. It's just not the same. But that is why when you punch out a ticket and you hear that sound, that's on purpose to make you think of the time when coins would come out of the machine. That was originally designed as a sensory thing to, I mean, it could be a 14-cent ticket, but psychologically you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid. Casinos study everything, every aspect of it. So far, one 2009 D, one 1943p silver nickel, one 1939 nickel, a couple of 54s, one 82p, one 83p. Have not found a 1971 Philadelphia yet. Did get a 1958 Philadelphia, which is a much scarcer coin than the 71. 1960 D. Now there's a thing called a 1960 D bar nickel. That's because on the 0 in 1960, there was a die crack and it looks like there's a bar across the top. This one is not a bar nickel, but if you find them, at one point people were collecting them as a way to find a variety and try to charge a premium for them. Not sure how scarce they are. Here's another off-colored 1941 San Francisco. Excellent. There's a variety with that. We'll take a look here in a moment. They have both a large mint mark and a small mint mark from 1941. So we will take a look. Ed, if you tell me you were born in 1941, I'm not going to believe you. So this is the large mint mark variety of 1941, but it is a 1941 San Francisco nickel. So we'll put it off to the side. You've already locked yourself into 1952, Ed. Let's see here. 1941, December, attack on Pearl Harbor. Didn't have much effect on coins because it was the end of the year. 1942, they made nickels of the original composition until about mid-year or early in the year when they needed all the copper and nickel for the war effort, and then they changed it. So a lot of different things about coins that are very exciting and intriguing if you're into that, if you're into data and statistics. 1893, real bad economy in the United States of America. Very few silver dollars were made. So if you have an 1893 Philadelphia silver dollar, you probably have enough to buy a house. 1892, go get yourself a nice sandwich somewhere. There's some other coins that over the years were just kind of there that didn't really catch on. You know, I think it was 38 Denver half dollar. They were, you know, scarce, but everyone had them. And all of a sudden, 5 or 7, 10 years ago, they took off. The 09S pennies have always had collector value. The 09S Lincoln design with the designer initials on the back below the wheat stalks, the VDB, one of the most famous coins out there. The 1913 Liberty nickel. You have an old vintage centavo copper coin from Mexico, 1954. Cool. Cool. Steel pennies, 1943. Yep. Same reason. They took the copper to fight the war, and then they put steel into the pennies. Ooh. Real nice 1983 Denver. Hopefully that's just some crud on it there. It is. I'm going to put that off to the side. The Mexican coins, Canadian coins, all have, you know, varieties and things, very collectible stuff. I happened to be in Mexico in 1982 and got a bunch of 1981 large centavos and different things that they had. And it turns out that year there was a variety with an open 8 or closed 8 in the 1981. And I happened to get a boatload of the 1981 open dates, which were the scarcer of the two. And I've sold a few over the years. 1959, Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Mint back then made much less than the Denver Mint did. So another, it's like the 58. It's a better date coin. It's not super scarce, but it's definitely one setting aside. Very excited about that. So far, very excited with what we found. Just a nice variety of cool collectible stuff. I mean, if I was to sit down to write out a script of what I would hope to find in a box of nickels to make it an interesting video, we've hit quite a bit of it here. We haven't got any of the 38s yet, or 39 mint marks, or 50s. 1950 Philadelphia or Denver. The 50 Denver has like 2.6 million is all they made of those, but everyone collected them for the longest time. You get an uncirculated roll for a couple $100. Now they're probably pushing close to 500. 12.5 bucks a coin for a nickel, if you can find it. Oh, some of my new coins went into the pile of the old coins because I'm letting them pile up here. So if I was in a hurry, leaving town, didn't have time, maybe I might Coinstar these, but I've got the whole afternoon ahead of me to re-roll them. Sometimes I roll them as I unwrap them. I'll just roll them when I'm done. It takes a little bit longer and it's not great video. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, right here, the back of this coin has intrigued me. I'll put it right there, and there's gonna be something about that that's gonna make me wanna collect that coin. And I'm not sure why, but that's the reverse of it. There's no date or mint mark on it, but I'm super stoked to see that coin. So give me a moment here and we'll get to it. 87, Denver, good shape. 73, we'll hold on to that one. 91, still right there. It could be a Philadelphia 87 for all I know, but I believe it's a 1980s coin. It's in real good shape. Some year from 1980s. It's my best guess based upon the reverse. This is my YouTube build up the anticipation and excitement technique as well. I watched the video this morning on it. Okay, let's flip it over. Oh my goodness. All right, it's a 1983 Denver, almost uncirculated nickel. If I was to put this at a coin show right now, I'd charge $4 probably for it in that condition, for one nickel. It's not perfect. I'd have to really get it under a scope to see if it's been circulated. I can see some rubs on it and all that. But because it's in such great shape, they didn't have collector sets those years for the most part. Hard to find. I'm gonna put that one aside. Very excited. That one's okay. All right, 83 Denver, real good condition there. Very excited. That's the sound of a very excited numismatist. Numismatics is the scientific study of coins and some collectibles like military stuff. Philatelist is a stamp collector. And then there's some term for paper money collectors. Problem with paper money collecting is they go so easily into slot machines. 82 Denver. We're gonna get through this whole box. This is exciting, at least for me. Appreciate y'all being here. All right, here's a 1978 Philadelphia mint. Would normally put this aside, much like the 83 we just found, but there's a big gash right there and a puncture mark on the top. So somehow it got cut. Takes all the value away. You'd actually have to circulate that down to fill that in naturally to have any value eventually. But again, I won't be around for that. Some of this stuff, if you have to wait 40 more years for it, I'm gonna let someone else collect it. 1961, 87. So we're getting some older dates as we get to the other side of the box there. We pulled them all out. Occasionally you'll find from a proof set the S Mint coin. Oh, another 1954. Looks like a Denver again. 19s and so on and so forth. Let's take a look. Denver again, a different mint marks. There's 3 different mint marks from Denver, or from 54 so far, from Denver. I'm trying to find the S mint because I want to show you the how they do the, if we can get under the scope there, the D over S or S over D. Plans for tonight, who's going out tonight? Who's doing some casino stuff? I'm sure we'll be out on the strip again tonight. Saturday night in Las Vegas, might just be Fremont because we haven't had music in a while. I haven't had to do any copyright fixing, so I'm kind of missing that. Pretty heavy. The value of the nickel in the nickels, if someone, there's a calculation, it's almost like the pennies, the copper pennies. They're worth more than face value. The Canadian nickels up to several years ago were 100% nickel composition, They were at one point here recently worth about 35 cents a piece just in their melt value. And both Canada and the United States have passed laws that you can't melt this down in large quantities for the metal out of it because that's going to hurt circulation of the coins. But the United States can't legislate not melting Canadian coins, and Canada can't legislate not melting American coins or US coins, I believe. Check with your local legal counsel on that. Another 82 Denver. I collect every 82 and 83 that's decent. It's not damaged, because eventually they'll have value. A bunch of 82s, 83s all of a sudden. Still no 1971. Still no 1975 Philadelphia. I haven't seen a 1965 either. It's not super scarce, but has some value. 06s. 06s. Okay, we're down 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. $32 left out of $100 worth of nickels. Ed says, end of month for me, broke, not going anywhere. I saved out a $10 bill for after church tomorrow just in case. Good. What price of silver would you sell some? What price of silver would you sell some? If I had some silver, not sure. Not sure. At this point, I'd probably be a collector of silver because after 9/11, price of silver dropped down to about $4 an ounce, and I bought a boatload of it. I was buying it in the silver nickels and ingots and so on, and then we got back up to about $30, $40 an ounce back in 2011 and 12 in that time frame. I sold it all, and then I've just been slowly collecting it ever since. But I'd sell it at whatever the melt value is, or maybe 5% behind that if it's stuff like this that I find. You gotta always leave room for the next guy to make a few bucks on stuff, especially collectibles. 1959, beat up. I was excited. I thought it was a 1950. I'm gonna throw that away because it's all beat up, not worth scratching up other coins with the sharp edges on the coin when it has pock marks like that. 1948, okay. Right here, it's a 1948. I'm gonna guess it's the San Francisco Mint based upon the coloration of the coin and the obverse design. 1948S had a different look. 1947S has a different look than their counterparts from those years. So we're gonna test my ability to predict stuff. Oh, it's the Philadelphia, it's not the S. But it's still 1948, pretty cool. I thought I was gonna show off there for a moment. You guys, be impressed anyway. If you were impressed by that, put it in the chat. WGWCO, welcome. Good to have you here. Did you collect? Oh, there's the Peace reverse from 2004 from the Lewis and Clark designs. It's the Peace pipe, the handshake. I think we're back. Are we back? Yes, we are back. Okay. That's a phone call I have to take, so I'm going to wrap it up for now right here. Unless that's a 1971. It is. Oh, 1971. We're going to look at one last coin here. 1971 Philadelphia. There's no mint mark on it, but it is damaged. It's got a big gash through the date. So that's what I was kind of talking about before. Let me see if I can pull it back a little bit. You can see it. But I'll take some pictures of these and post them on the community page of some of the coins we found, so you can see what they are. I'll get some up close shots and all that. But we're gonna have to wrap this up right now. Appreciate you guys spending some time this afternoon with me. We'll see you guys later tonight out on the Strip or Fremont Street. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, tell a friend, and appreciate you coin collecting with me here on a Saturday.